Hey folks, Plev here. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to operate the countermeasure system on board the DCS C-130J Hercules. Before we get started with the systems, let me explain that I don't know everything about the countermeasures in the C-130, and if I get things wrong, please let me know in the comments. On top of that, this module is still in early access and not everything has been added yet. I plan to revisit this topic again in the future when it's more fleshed out. Please enjoy this video. Before we get started, ensure that you have your yoke CMS dispense button bound. Stepping into the cockpit, let's take a look by our pilot's right hip to find the Defensive Systems panel. On the top left of the panel, we have the Defensive Systems master switch. You can set this to standby or enable it by placing it in the operational mode. Down and to the left, we have the ECM switch. This allows the aircraft to use the RWR to automatically begin dispensing chaff and flares if it deems it necessary and if it's configured to the appropriate mode, but we'll get to that later. I recommend you leave this in the operating mode. To the right of the ECM switch, we have the infrared countermeasure switch. This powers on the flare launchers. The red jettison cover, when undone, reveals a switch which allows you to jettison all countermeasures on board the aircraft, which is the safe thing to do if you have a fire on board. To the right of the jettison cover, we have the CMDS mode selector. We'll go from left to right, beginning with standby mode. Think of standby mode as your safety. The system is powered on, but it will not dispense. In the future, you'll also be able to view and edit individual countermeasure profiles from this mode. In manual mode, we can select either programs 1 to 4 or 5 and 6 and use the CMS countermeasures button to dispense flares and chaff. In manual mode, you must utilize the man program switch to either select programs 1 to 4, 5, or 6. Selecting between 1 and 4 can be done through avionics, which we'll get to in a moment. Coming to the right, we have semi-automatic mode in which the aircraft will select the best system through the MWS and RWR to counter the threat. However, you must manually begin dispensing countermeasures in this mode. Coming to the right, we have automatic mode where the system will automatically dispense countermeasures from the program that it has decided is best to counter the threat. Finally, on the right, we have bypass mode, which allows you to bypass any automated features and dispense one chaff and one flare per press of the countermeasures button. Let's come back to manual mode and get into the finer details of how to use it. With the man program switch set to 1 to 4, or the uppermost position, we have to use the CNI for finer selection between the 4 programs. On the CNI, hit MC Index and then Defensive Systems. In the top left, we have the master power for the system. Below that, we have the RWR control page. And below that, the CMDS control page. Here we can select between program 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the manual programs mode. In the future, you'll be able to manually program what these programs do. As of right now, in 2026, on June 8th, you cannot. Coming back to the Defensive Systems control page, we can see the quantity of flares and chaff remaining on board. We also have the weight on wheels override if for some reason you wanted to fire them off on the ground. Coming back down to the Defensive Systems panel, we can select programs 5 and 6, which are usually pre-programmed, hard-coded presets. Full disclosure, currently there's not a lot of info out there. Actually, there's some conflicting info on if these modes are even different. I expect that later on in early access, these 2 programs will be fleshed out a little more. As of right now, I stick to the semi-automatic or automatic modes. Down below, we have the standard RWR keys you would expect on a Western RWR system. Ensure that the search mode is always on. I'll discuss the rest of these in a later video, however. Now let's bring up our RWR. The following image that I have over the RWR screen inserted into the video shows you what an airborne threat would look like with an upside down V or a hat. This shows that it's an airborne radar. On the alternative side of things, a V facing straight up is a ground-based threat. A V plus a hat is a system that is launching on you. In the interest of keeping this video short, I'm not going to break down the symbology any further yet. I do expect to come back to this later on in early access when this system is more fleshed out. In the meanwhile, thank you guys for watching and consider liking, commenting, and subscribing if this has helped you out. Plev, out.